डिज्नी प्लस हॉट स्टार के दिल्ली के सुल्तान की प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस हॉट स्टार स्पेशल्स को अपनी जन मनोरंजक पावर पैक्ड ड्रामा सीरीज सुल्तान ऑफ दिल्ली के ट्रेलर लॉन्च प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में बहुत खुशी हो रही है। ट्रेलर लॉन्च पर प्रस्तुत थे निर्देशक मिलन लुथरिया, सह लेखक और सह निर्देशक सुपर्ण वर्मा, डिज्नी हॉट स्टार गौरव बनर्जी, निर्माता नमित शर्मा, कलाकारों के साथ ताहिर राज भसीन, अंजुम शर्मा, मौनी रॉय, मेहरीन पीरजादा, निशांत दहिया, अनुप्रिया गोयनका और हरलीन सेठी। लैंड्स एंड कोर्ट, ताज लैंड्स एंड बांद्रा, RSVP देवस्थाना, सृष्टि। बॉलीवुड न्यूज स्टेशन से विजय तस्वीर द्वारा मीडिया कवरेज। लाइक, शेयर और सब्सक्राइब करना भूलें।
बट इसकी स्टोरी बिल्कुल नहीं है और अब वक्त है आपको ये बहुत ही स्पेशल कहानी सुनाने का। ये कहानी है किस्मत की, और किस्मत के इस खेल में बाजी लगाते बाजीगरों की। कोई अपनी तकदीर साथ लाया है, कोई सबकी तकदीर अपने हाथों में रखता है और कोई अपने हाथों से अपनी तकदीर लिख रहा है। प्लीज keep it aside. You can keep it aside. First of all, congratulations. Finally, the trailer is out and we can't wait for the 30th of October. Wishing all of you the best. And I know मीडिया के दोस्तों के कई सारे सवाल होंगे। उससे पहले मेरे थोड़े सवाल मैं पूछ लेता हूँ, उसके बाद we'll open the floor for media Q&A starting with I want to ask you कि how was it directing this massive series and creating this Sultanate together, and what inspired Sultan of Delhi?
So, firstly, many times in my career, people have asked me why I'm doing something, and my answer has always been why not. So, when I moved from a male-dominated scenario in my films to a heroine-centric movie, they asked me why, and I said why not. And when I decided to do something on OTT, again they asked me why, and I said why not. I get to meet new people, I get to interact with a new team, new talent. It's what enriches me, it's what keeps me going, and it's also because the material that came my way, the book itself, was a springboard. You know, writers and directors are always looking for strong scripts, and then we had Suparn come on board, and we had been trying to collaborate for a long time on a project, but it somehow fell into place here. I must say that at a certain point in the filming process, I started getting very tired, because I'm used to directing everything myself, and sharing that space with another is not easy. At that point in time, I reached out to Suparn and I asked him at very short notice if he would take over some part of the filming for me, because I also had to work on making the songs and on costumes and locations, and Suparn took less than a minute to say yes. So I'm very grateful for that, and he's, of course, everyone knows how popular he is in this medium on OTT. He's a delight to work with for me, not for the actors. And yes, so it's been fantastic. It's been a learning curve. It's been a little bit of a teaching curve. I think I've had a lot of questions asked of me that perhaps more experienced people would not. But the whole gang has been very interactive. Many of them have been my first choice. Tahir, after Mardani, Anjum had a very small cameo in Once Upon a Time. Moni, I've been wanting to work with for a long time. Goes for everybody. Most of the cast, Arlene, Marine, Anupriya, Vinay Pathak, they were all my first choice. And thanks to Namit, Mukesh Chabra for getting them on board. Lovely long days of writing with Suparn and Karan Vyas, who's written the dialogue, who's written Scam earlier. And a special shout out to the director of photography, Vishnu Rao, the art department, the costume department, fantastic detailing. So yeah, I think I've said quite a bit. I'm going to let Suparn do some talking now.
Well, I have been in love with Milan since Kache Dhage, and our, the thing is, writing Sultan of Delhi was creating a world which was poppy, full of fun, and Milan's cinema has been known to bring, two characters together and talks about bonds of friendship, bonds of love, and heighten the drama in the best way possible. So this gave me the scope to do all of that. And when he said, "Come on, jump in and co-direct as well," I was like, absolutely, because he had created a world which was so vibrant, so much fun. It's almost like watching a western with that kind of scope on Indian screens. And Hotstar literally gave wings to our imagination, where we could do whatever we wanted with a cast like this, which is so amazing. And they just went wild. I don't know if they enjoyed the energy part of it, but I was having a blast every single day, because 60s is an era of innocence, of people discovering themselves, and it's India coming together post the wounds of partition, earning its freedom, finding its voice. And in that, when you bring in crime, you bring in friendship and love. It's a wonderful time period to go into. So yeah.
I think she's very real. Sanjana is real, fragile, and like Suparn sir rightly said, that she's born believing something, and then suddenly she just rediscovers herself, everything that she's believed in, and something that we all go through in everyday life. And yeah, that's about it.
Thank you.
In a few words, I'll call her independent and fierce. She has an independent mind. I think she's a bit of a Bengali tigress. So, yeah.
Khub balo.
Hello.
I want to sum up the character in one line, but before I do, I'm going to take just 1 minute of everyone's time. The trailer that you saw, like Sir said, is 3 years of work. And everyone spoke about how it came together, but I think it will be unfair to go forward if we don't say a very big thank you to Milan Luthria for trusting the entire cast with this. People keep describing you as a veteran, but I feel like it's an unfair word, because a veteran, the image that you have is a person who's very old, and there is no person who parties harder than this gentleman sitting over here. So at the end of the day, we would all want to go back to our hotel rooms, but Milan sir was ready to party, and that for me was just incredible to watch. Iconic is a word that I would use rather than a veteran. So sir, thank you so much for trusting us. Suparn, contrary to what everyone says, it was a joy to work with you. Thank you for the fantastic writing and the very subtle energy that you would bring to set. जब इस स्केल का आप अगर शो देखते हैं तो it cannot be made without conviction and backing by a platform and producers. So Gaurav sir, thank you for trusting us. And Shivashi, who's blending into the background over there in black, thank you so much for the trust. Namit, thank you. It was a 2-year roller coaster for us, but if you had to be on this ride, we're very fortunate that you guys were the shock absorbers. So thank you. The one line, coming back to your question, Arjun Bhatia, he's got nerves of steel. Yeah. He's bold, and what was fascinating about playing him is that there is this boyishness, which is a sense of adventure in him, but he's also got the determination and fierceness of a man. And to just mix all of those over 9 episodes was fantastic, and fingers crossed that the audience likes it.
1960s का Iron Man.
जब मौका आता है तो उसका right moment he waits for it, and then बिच्छू की तरह डंक मारता है. That's what Arjun is. As simple as that.
Please.
So, I'm in love with Shankari myself, and for that I really have to thank Milan sir, Suparn, Gaurav sir and Namit for giving me this opportunity. And Shankari for me is this mysterious woman who has on the table in a man's bad world. She owns her sexuality, she owns her dreams, and would take no for an answer never. Like nothing can stop her.
जी सर.
मोनी, आपका जो कैरेक्टर दिखा
जी.
नयनतारा का
जी.
बहुत ही प्रॉमिसिंग दिखा. इसके लिए आपने किस तरह की तैयारी की और इस कैरेक्टर की विशेषता आपके हिसाब से आपको क्या लगती है?
मैं छोटा रखूंगी आंसर, पर मैं शुरू से शुरुआत करती हूँ. आई थिंक जब मैं पहली बार मिलन सर से मिलने गई और उन्होंने मुझे इस किरदार के बारे में बताया, इस कैरेक्टर के बारे में बताया, मैं जानती थी कि मैं होप कर रही थी सीक्रेटली कि ये मुझे कास्ट कर ले. एंड थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दैट सर. क्योंकि इतना ज़्यादा नहीं बोल पाऊंगी, पर जब आप शो देखेंगे वो ये कैरेक्टर जिस तरह से सोचती हैं, जिस तरह का इनका मन है, जैसा हाउ शी नेविगेट्स her path in her life and what her journey is something that really attracted me. And I really, और आपने देखा ये वर्ल्ड सुल्तान ऑफ दिल्ली का, जब आप अगर आप बुक पढ़ेंगे तो आप खुद चाहेंगे कि आप भी उस वर्ल्ड का हिस्सा हों, और मैं भी ऐसा चाहती थी, which is why I think I'm very happy that I got the part. Thank you.
मेरा सवाल मिलिंद जी से है. मिलिंद जी,
OTT पे आऊँगा तो मुझे थोड़ा रिस्पेक्ट मिलेगा. लोग कहेंगे कि अब ये सब बोल रहे हैं कि ये आइकॉनिक हैं और ये वेटरन हैं, लेकिन ताहिर साहब जब अपने बाल बनाते हैं और हम 2.5 घंटा वैन में वेट करते हैं, तो वो भी इस किताब में कहीं हमको लिखना चाहिए. इसकी मेकिंग में ये मेरे पास जो बैठे हैं, इनको अगर सफ़ेद कलर की वैन नहीं मिलती है तो ये शूटिंग पे नहीं आते हैं. ये जनाब जो है, ये एक्टर के साथ एक्टर से इतना काम खींचते हैं कि
I used to be the first one to come to set every day.
हाँ, to say good morning, but then when you went back to the van, you came back at lunch time. ये साहब इतना काम खींचते हैं एक्टरों से कि एक्टर, कैमरामैन, फाइट डायरेक्टर सब बेहोश हो जाते हैं. इनका है कि ये इनको जो डायलॉग दिए हैं, इनको कभी पूरे नहीं पढ़ते. इनके अंदर से 2-4 लाइनें अपने आप बाहर आ जाती हैं. सर क्या मैं ये बोल सकती हूँ, सर क्या मैं वो बोल सकती हूँ. मैरीन जो है वो जस्ट आपको लगता है कि आपने सब कुछ सेट कर दिया है, उसी वक्त उनके माइंड में एक सवाल आता है जो वो पूछ के ही रहेंगी. तो आई थिंक मुझे नहीं पता था कि मैं OTT क्यों कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन अब मुझे पता चल गया है. और शायद नेक्स्ट OTT चीज़ करने से पहले ये सब मुझे ध्यान में रखना पड़ेगा जो अभी मैंने आपको बताया.
थैंक यू सर.
कम से कम एक चीज़ तो क्लियर हो गई कि दिल्ली ऑफ सुल्तान कौन है.
हाँ जी, मिलिंद जी, आपसे मेरा सवाल ये है कि नॉर्मली बॉम्बे को अंडरवर्ल्ड के लिए जाना जाता है, तो इस बार ये दिल्ली का नाम बदनाम करने जा रहे हैं, आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे?
इसमें देखिए, जो किताब हमारे सामने आई थी उसका नाम था सुल्तान ऑफ दिल्ली, और उसकी जो नींव रखी गई है लेखक ने, वो ये है कि पार्टीशन के बाद जब लोग, जो पहला जनरेशन इंडियंस का जवान हुआ, तो उनके पास वो सारी चीज़ें शायद नहीं थी जो आज के बच्चों के पास हों, जैसे कि विरासत में प्रॉपर्टी हो या बिजनेसेस हो. सब कुछ बिखर गया था. या तो नौकरी करते थे या खुद अपना रास्ता तय करते थे, और उनमें से कई ऐसे लोग हैं जो अपनी तकदीर के सुल्तान बने दिल्ली में. तो यही वजह है कि एक नए शहर में एक कहानी सेट की थी उस लेखक ने, और उसी थॉट को हमने आगे बढ़ाया.
So Tahir, you're exploring 60s world for the first time probably in Sultan of Delhi. How was your experience getting into the character, and also what was your favorite part of Sultan of Delhi?
Not only was I entering, thank you for the question, not only was I entering the 60s world, I was entering Milan Luthria's vision of 60s, and like iconic is the word. We've grown up seeing his work, and one of the things that he specializes in is the style, and that was very interesting for me, just to try on all those vintage jackets, itni sari gaadiyan, vintage ghadiyan, ये सब एक कैरेक्टर को बनाती हैं. Exploring that was very very exciting. And what was great to be working with both Milan sir and Suparn sir, जब मैं बाल बना लेता था और वैनिटी से निकलता था, तो that they were very precise in what they wanted in terms of अर्जुन भाटिया का body language ऐसे होगा, और and breaking away from Tahir and becoming Arjun Bhatia. I think after we finished 1 year of shooting, it took me a good 2 months to stop walking like Arjun Bhatia does. So all of that, creating this really interesting, dynamic, multifaceted character and entering the glamorous world of Milan Luthria and Suparn's 60s was very exciting.
So yeah, also coming back to the question and the answer. हाँ, तो ये obviously बहुत different था जो मैंने अब तक किया है, but the day I met Milan sir and he narrated the part to me, and obviously the opportunity to work with him, that comes foremost, and after that the character, there was like, again, like how Milan sir said, why not? Because this character did not have anything to say no to. It was a challenge for me as an actor. It's a dream character for any actor. It is like a total spectrum of emotions that this guy goes through. It has happiness, sorrow, love, despair, frustration, agony, anguish, joy. So it was a pleasure in terms of preparing for the character. I mean, initially it took some time because it's not something that you feel that you're the bad guy and you go and you do the part superficially. Because if you're superficial, then it'll show across on screen. So you would rather try to get into the head of the character. तो मैंने कोशिश करी किसी तरह वापस जाके सोचूं.
So my questions, and as I said, when I read the script, I fell in love with not just the world of Sultan of Delhi, but also Shankri as a character. And every other character's graph is very well chalked out. I wanted to be part of that world, and not just the writing by Suparn, having known Milan sir's work before, the world that could have come out. I mean, there was no chance of me ever giving it a second thought at all. And I had a great time, honestly. I was worried, not just because of the intimate scenes or something, but because it's a dark character and I've not played that before so much. And I didn't want to play it in a normal, typical vampish way. So that used to be a constant thought in my head. And I think when you're worried about how you're going to play something, or a little nervous or excited, that makes it much more interesting. Suparn sir and Milan sir were both always there to help me through the process. And Nishant was a fabulous co-actor. In fact, I would tease him many times. He was always very sweet. And yeah, the entire team, Vishnu sir, entire production team, Namit, also Jia and Malika, have to mention them, and even Tripti and Harshita, who were part of her team. They did such a fabulous job. The art, the whole thing, I mean, it's a dream to be a part of this.